That's not bad. Well, I had to make a little speed run with this. This is one of the ones that I had traded a couple of cases of beer for. I had it running last year, and I put a new battery in this year, and it was like a new fuel petcock, stuff like that. I was monkeying around with it today, but it was funny. Of course, there's no plates on it, but I run it out on the highway just to see what kind of speed she would do. And it's funny to run one of these. They're small. They feel small, and even like 40 miles an hour, things are kind of hectic, because little wheels are really spinning. I know. This is the 125. My brother, he's got a 160, it's the same model, a CB 160 that he had, the first motorcycle he ever owned. And he picked one of them up, and the one day he ran down to check cattle in the pasture. That's only like 3 miles away from here. And he thought, well, you take the 160. He said it was a terrifying ride, because 60 miles an hour is really cooking on one of them. And, they've got very poor suspension. This has got better suspension than the 160 had. There's nothing there, really. And he said he didn't realize how rough the highway was, and it really isn't that rough. It's just that there's nothing, there's no give in the suspension. But that was a long trip, and we used to take these small bikes on long trips, Of course, at the time when I learned to ride, it was really way before these things were around. We learned on an old Harley Hummer 125 that the neighbor had. And then when I was like 16, I got a RG 250, or what turned to be, it was a white ES3, but a 250 Yamaha, which was, at the time, a huge bike, but, really fast, terrifyingly fast, but two-stroke, two-cylinder, and you just fight with them. But it's nice, it's kind of fun to take these little bikes. You kind of lose track of what bikes used to be. But, this is the CL model, which is sort of street and off-road. But, honest to God, you don't want to go off-road with this thing. The difference between the CB and the CL is very slight. It's got the up pipe rather than the low pipe the CB had, and it does have this off-road bar, but really that's about the only difference. They're pretty much the same. There's no really advantage in the suspension on them. There's just really nothing there. Well, it's better than, like, I know my brother's got an older Harley Hummer back before they had the telescoping front end, and that actually has rubber bands for the front end, and you adjust these little things to dampen it. It's a whole different sort of a setup. And they used to be just a hardtail, no rear suspension at all. Though I can't imagine, this thing, it's got foot pegs on for a passenger, but I cannot imagine carrying a passenger on this. You know, like when I was coming here on the highway, I was going, it's up a fairly long hill, and she was able to hold her at 50 all the way up that hill, so that's not bad. But she tops out at, well, in theory, 70. But, oh, I bet on a flat or downhill you could get like 65 out of her, but it would take your utmost attention. But I was playing around today, and I was monkeying, getting the lights running, that sort of thing. But it's kind of it's fun to take it out. But I'm so spoiled on the bigger bikes that this is kind of a joke, really. But fun, and this thing runs really good, you know, which is one great advantage to it. You know, low start, first kick, because I used it last year a lot just for running out and getting mail, and it was kind of handy for that. But on this sand like this, like it's kind of damp now, so it ain't bad. But on dry sand, with these kind of tires, oh man, she's a handful. You know, she would go all over. And I wasn't too sure about, you know, these are fairly old tires. So even when I was cruising down the highway, I was thinking, yeah, I should have worn my helmet. It could have been a blowout there, but I hate to invest money in tires. But it's fun. It's good to have one. I got to get, you know, this is an aftermarket kind of a generic seat. I got to find the right seat for it. Would be nice. And I'm missing both side covers. And the exhaust I've got on there is one I put together, but I would like to get the original one, but they all rotted away, you know. But otherwise, this one is pretty darn complete. You know, in pretty nice shape, really. She's a runner. So like I say, it starts really good. But I would not want to take a long trip, though we used to all the time. Anything that would run like that, oh man, away we go. Nothing holding us back. Now I kind of know better. Or at least I know to bring a lot of tools. But amazingly enough, this one actually has the original Honda toolkit in the toolbox. That's impressive.